Hello, everybody, and welcome to YPC Media's monthly webinar series. I'm Catie Fitzgerald, the Director of Operations here at YPC Media, and I am joined with Nicole.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole, Senior Business Executive here at YPC Media.
And we're here today to do a mid-year digital marketing check-in. So we have a lot of information for you guys, but we do have our contact info up there. If you want to scan and interact with either of us. We have our social channels and some things there. If you want to reach out with any info, we'll have it at the end as well. But we're looking forward to taking you guys through a little bit of a digital audit today. So today's agenda, we're going to take you through how to market your current marketing plan. So I know a lot of you that are on today's webinar are some of our clients. So you already are working with an account manager here at YPC Media. So hopefully your marketing audit does really well and you know a lot of the terminology that we're talking about today, but we're hoping that you take away some tidbits of things that you can work on for the second half of the year. We're going to break up our audit worksheet, but if you scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, you'll be able to follow along with us, save it for later, and take some notes. It's a PDF, so you'll be able to download that and save it. We're also going to take you through a little bit of a trend review. We want to take a look at what are the shiny new objects that have come up through the beginning of 2025 and really talk about what we see is working. We want to talk about some quick wins that can get you to boost your traffic and engagement conversions and set you up for success the second half of this year. And we're going to talk about how to build that plan. What are some of the things that you should be thinking about when you're building that plan? So hopefully I didn't talk too fast and you all had a minute to scan that worksheet. I'll have it available at the end of the webinar too. So if you want to just follow along, Nicole's going to kick us off and start with our first section to audit. So let's get into it, Nicole.
Awesome. Okay, so I can't believe that we're halfway through the year, but it is what it is. We need to understand like what has worked, what do we need help on, so that we can set ourselves up for success towards the end of the latter half of the year, but also like make sure that we're competitive going into next year. Okay. So we need to understand like what is our benchmark? Where are we at? What's our business looking like online? What do we need to work on? So if you're not currently working with or have a speed listings program with us or aren't currently working with a company, this is a great time for you to run a report to see like where is your business at online. So number one thing is, are your listings helping or hurting your chance of being found by new customers? Okay, so this is really going to help you directly get in front of people who are shopping online for what you offer. So we need to make sure that all of your listings are synced is the number one. And if you don't know the answer to that, maybe something that we can definitely discuss later, but something that you should definitely look into. Number two, do you have access to your Google profile? Are you the owner of your Google profile? There's ways that we can check to see who the owner is. If you need help with us or help with that, just let us know. But one of the things that I really wanted to chat with you guys about today is this doesn't apply to everyone, but if one of these three scenarios applies to your business right now, this is probably going to guarantee that you have some inconsistencies online. So whether you, number one, have acquired a business and kept the address and or phone number, if you have moved location at any given point, or if you have merged a business. So if you don't already have our speed listings program or are not working with an SEO company, then I guarantee that you have inconsistencies floating around, and that is directly hurting your opportunity to get more business online. I guarantee it. So that is probably, keep that in mind. If you've moved, acquired, or merged, we need to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success and fixing those inconsistencies. So number three here on the list, what is your primary category on Google profile? Is your profile online set up to help you get in front of businesses or customers who are shopping for what you offer, right? If you're an insurance agent, are you set up as such online? If you're a roofing company, are you set up accordingly online to get that business? Think of Google profiles as your digital billboard. It's free. So we want to take advantage of that. This is where customers are shopping every single day for what you offer. If you're not capitalizing off of that, you're sending customers to your competition, and there's no need for that, right? We want to make sure that you're setting yourself up to get as much business as possible organically within your local area. Now, people always ask me, how many reviews do I need? You want to take a look. Do you even have Google reviews right now? Are you aware of what your profile looks like online? I think that it's really important to see, what is your competition looking like online, right? I think let's start there first. Let's see what other plumbers, electrician, insurance agents in your local area, what do those profiles look like? How many Google reviews do they have? Because if you think of yourself as a consumer and you're shopping locally for a roofer near me, and now you're up against 6 other businesses that all provide the same services as you, the customer is going to find one that it's going to want to call based on the number of reviews, photos, right? Do they have any connection with them? They see photos that they like, whatever it may be. But review is going to be one of the number one things they're going to look at, right? Why would you choose a business that has 5 reviews versus 200 reviews? That's silly, right? So let's start there to see, what does your business look when it's being up against other businesses, and let's make sure that you're getting enough reviews to look good against your competition, and also strive to do better, right? That's key. Have all your reviews been answered? This is so important for 2 reasons, really. One is to make sure that we are looked as a business that is taking care of their customers. So other customers or prospects love to see that a business owner is taking the time to reply back to all their Google reviews, that they care. They're taking the time. Wow, they're so busy, yet they have time to reply. Well, we know it doesn't need to be you individually as the business owner. There's services out there. There's other team members that you could maybe assign this to. But that's a huge piece that consumers are really looking to see. Your interactions with your customers, they want to see that you're taking the time to reply, whether that's a good review or a negative review. It needs to be replied to accordingly. But 2, the algorithm. We need to feed the algorithm. We need to give Google a reason that you are the best agent, the best plumber in the area. You are taking the time to reply back. It's so important to Google. And you're going to start to also, you probably noticed already that there's other platforms that show how quickly the reviews are responded, how on top of their business these business owners are interacting with customers. So it's really, really important. And then, are you posting regularly on Google? Are you staying up to date with that? Are you posting about the new, maybe awards you've received in community service that you've been involved in, the amazing team members that you have on your team? Those are all good, awesome things that people love to see when they're deciding who they want to work with or who they want to call for help in regards to what you offer. So this is an awesome opportunity for you to brand yourself as a business within the industry, and think of what separates my business, my plumbing business, my roofing business, my insurance agency business. What separates my business to my competition locally? And post it, advertise it, promote yourself. This is a way to really brand your business against your competition. It's so important, because there are always going to be other businesses locally that do what you do, but it doesn't mean that they do it the best, right? So we need to advertise that. Yeah, so these are really, really good ways, free ways that you could do to implement into your business that will really separate you from your local competition. But first, I highly recommend taking a quick audit to see, where am I at when people see me against my competition? What do I look like online, right? How am I being perceived? That's definitely number 1.
Yeah, and take a few minutes too while you're listening to Nicole and I talk here. Pull up on your phone, go to Google, type in your business name, look at your profile, because the chances are, even if you work with YPC Media and you're one of our customers, when's the last time you pulled it up? Because we've been managing it for you. So you want to take a look and check in, especially if you have an extensive team, or even if it's just you. Take a look at how many reviews you have. Sometimes that's kind of that wake up call to say, oh, I only have 5 reviews this year. We have anywhere recommended where, the algorithm wants to see, 10 reviews a month up to, depending on which article you're reading at any given time. So just being able to look at these know how to access all of your pieces as a business owner is super important. So take a few minutes and sit down and look at your Google account and really take a peek at some of these questions. But I want to jump to the next section, Nicole, which is our lead funnels.
So important, right? Because we're doing all this work, and if we're not able to track activity, what a waste. Okay, so when we're thinking about, we need to figure out what's working, what's not working. Well, there's only a few ways of really determining that, and one of the biggest thing is being able to track this activity. Okay, so which lead source is driving the most results to your business lately? I'd love to hear, so feel free to type in and send us your
Yeah,
input.
put it in the chat here. Which lead source is the top one for you right now?
And I think the biggest thing, because I know on this call, there's a lot of different business types of businesses too. So every business is operated a little bit different when it comes to getting in front of your customers. And it's really important to understand, where are your customers spending time? Is it on Google? Do they shop for what you offer on Google? Is it Apple Maps? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? So figuring that out first, and then making sure that we're positioning yourself to get in front of those customers accordingly. So I wanted to bring that up because I actually, as much as I definitely believe that Google is number one. I think that's, the holy grail, and it's very important. But there's other platforms on there that I use now more than ever before, like even Maps, Apple Maps. When I look for a local business that I need to get to right away, I'm in the car or I'm driving somewhere or I'm in a new area, right? I'm traveling. I look on Apple Maps. I don't even think to look on Google. That's just how me as a consumer, how I behave online. And I can tell you how many times my people that I've worked with, or clients that come to me before they start working with us, we realize that they don't even have an Apple Maps account set up. So that's a huge loss and opportunity for new potential customers, that it's free. We just got to make sure that you're optimized, you're up there, and you're getting in front of those people that are shopping in the map section, okay, or in Maps, Apple Maps. So number one, figuring out, like, where does your customer shop? Where do they search for what you offer? Now, making sure that you're optimizing those platforms is, of course, number two. So kind of going back on number one here, how are your customers currently finding you online? And are you tracking which sources perform the best? So that's something that, is going to go alongside of that. Number two, is your website optimized to convert visitors into leads? Is it mobile friendly, fast, clear? Does it have a call to action, a contact form? Those are all things that we can spend all day and night driving business and traction to your website. But if you don't have a very easy to fill out form, very, plain and simple, and with a tracking signal on there, it's pointless, right? Driving all this traffic to your business, and then there's no way to fill out a form, or it's hard to find, it's not front and center, you just lost that customer. So making sure that the call to action is very clear is very important, and it's easy to find. And then, do you have systems in place to automatically capture, route, and follow up with the lead? So do your leads go into your CRM automatically, or do they go to someone's email? What email did that go to? Is that team member still part of your team? A lot of times people end up leaving the team and all these leads are still going to their email. So this is a time to really just take an audit of everything. Don't be discouraged if things aren't lined up correctly. There's always room for improvement, but this is where we want to start, right? How are we getting those leads, and are we actually tracking that activity? And then also, are you able to measure your conversion rate and consistently nurture leads who don't convert right away? So it's so important, right? Every lead behaves a little bit different. Every source of leads behaves a little different. If you're an insurance agent, you're used to mailers, they usually have a life cycle of about 6 months. If you're an internet lead, you're buying internet leads, you're looking at a little bit more, quicker turnaround. However, we don't know that unless we have the right tracking signals in place. So is your team dispositioning that call correctly or that lead correctly? How are we tracking that? We have separate landing pages set in place to track activity, all of those things. So if you need help, you feel overwhelmed, it's okay, take a breather. This is what we're here for. So if you are feeling a little anxious or overwhelmed of, oh my gosh, I have so many things that I got running and I truly don't really know what's working, what's not, this is where we can start and we can audit that for you. So I know it's a lot of information, but it's so important for your business, but really your team too, right? You're spending so much money and effort in generating activity and visibility for your team that if we're not able to really understand what's driving the most amount of leads and what's converting at a higher rate, it's a waste of money, right? So we need to make sure that we're tracking that accordingly.
Yeah, and this doesn't even go just for paid leads. If you are at a point in your business that you're not paying for Google ads or like call transfers or anything like that, just having tracking sources on your organic programs, like on your GBP, your link over to your website, having tracking information on there is super important. So there's ways to add on to some of the things that you're doing to just make sure that you're set up for success as you continue on. And then one other thing I did want to mention, the chat is actually not where, if you guys have anything question related or responses to anything we're asking, you can put those in the Q&A section in your bar here on Zoom. So if there's anything you guys have to add or questions, please feel free to put them there. We'll have time at the end to answer a few. All right, so we're going to move on to our last step of our audit, which is going to be looking at our social media presence. So we want to check how well your social is building brand trust and driving traffic. So a lot of the things Nicole already mentioned, especially in the listings portion, also apply over on social media now because social media is being used as a search engine. Nicole also said Google's still king, right? But we've all seen the data coming out of, you know, that traffic going down and traffic going up on other platforms. So it's important to have your listings synced, but then let's take it a step further on social media because let's be real, just having your information there is not good enough. So the first thing that we want to take a look at is your branding consistent. So what I mean by that is, are those little circle icons, is your logo sized appropriately on there? I know because I'm in it and I'm into social media, when I see a logo that's not sized appropriately, I'm like, oh man, like I should fix that. So definitely take a look at those. Is it the same logo across everything? Depending on your industry, it would be your logo, but it may also be your headshot if you're the face of your business, or if you're, you know, in a social selling type of industry, or you're selling yourself, you're a coach or anything like that. It may be relevant to have your headshot there. So make sure you're using what's relevant and known to your industry so that people see that. But you're also going to want to look at your bios and your links, making sure that everything's concise and filled out so that there's the most information possible on all of those. And when I'm talking about social channels, if you're looking for where to start, obviously Facebook, it's still one of the top searching platforms, but also Instagram now. You can't almost not be listed on Instagram and have a claimed profile. There's so much opportunity on Instagram for having your business listed, linked, and content being pushed out. So the second thing is posting consistently. Are you posting at least 2 to 3 times a week? Because anything less than that is not good enough right now in this day and age, and given the algorithms. Your competitors are likely posting that much. And if you take a look at them, you're going to see that. And this is something where, you know, as we go through some of these questions, maybe you are posting 2 to 3 times a week, but now we're going to look at what I have on step 3. Are you using a content calendar, or are you just kind of willy-nilly posting when you feel like it, or when you have that minute to post that team picture from last week or the new job that you just finished and that before and after shot? Is that when you're putting up the content? We want to make sure that you're being thoughtful about the content, because you also don't want to waste your time. You want to put in the effort where it matters, and sometimes not having a plan does end up wasting your time in the end. The fourth thing on here is, do your posts include a mix of value, engagement, educational, and promotional content? A lot of you probably have heard the common terms for social content now is picking your content pillars. So having a set different amount of things that you want to post about, to make sure that you're constantly delivering the information that your followers or people that are seeing you in their For You pages or feeds are used to seeing from you, and get them to engage with you, because you want to make sure what you put your time into is working and people are seeing it, because if they're not, what's the point? The fifth one here, are you tracking engagement metrics? So if you have Meta Business Suite on your phone, if you have Instagram that you typically are looking at on there, take a few minutes and play around with what analytics they give there, because it might actually tell you a lot about your audience. I know a lot of us start our business pages from, inviting our friends and family to follow it, which is totally fine. But as you grow a little bit, you might want to look at who's engaging with it. It also gives you some statistics on people that don't follow you and what those demographics are on people that have seen your posts. So definitely important to look at. You want to make sure you know how to do that too. Do you respond to comments and DMs regularly? So this is something where if you put out the content, you want to make sure you're prepared to answer the questions. I will put out this disclaimer right now because it's a frequently asked question. Facebook is not going to DM you and tell you your Facebook page is being deactivated. So if you get those spam messages, make sure that you please don't give them information or anything like that. Meta Suite would actually give you notifications in the platform. You would also receive emails from somebody that's from Meta. If you ever have any questions, your account manager can definitely take a peek at any of that for you. But I just like to add that always. So the last few things I have on here, 7, 8, and 9, kind of all tied together. So, talking about a little bit about social media automation. Do you have scheduling tools? So where you can create the content and you don't actually have to post it right away. You can schedule something for tomorrow. Being able to sit down and do one task at a time and then let it automate out is going to save you time and money, to make sure that you are getting the content out there and you can stay consistent. So along with that is looking at your link in bio tool. So if you definitely are on Instagram, you've probably seen people talking about their links in bios. On Facebook, you have that one standard link. Over on Instagram, you can put a few different links on your Instagram profile. So making sure that you have ways to get users to a quote page, a review page, wherever you're directing that traffic, you want to have it really easily accessible, because we know consumers on social media are looking for quick fixes. That if they have to go through a couple hoops, they're not going to jump through them. But that last thing is just optimizing those. So making sure that you use this as an opportunity to generate leads. It's not just a place to post fun content in that. Obviously, the end goal here is to generate some leads and get people over to your website. So making sure you're using all those tools to do that. So that's really the end of the audit section. So if you guys had a chance to scan that QR code at the beginning, there are a few more questions on that download that you'll get from there. We tried to summarize for the sake of the webinar today, but we already have less than 10 minutes left. We want to kind of start going into some of the trends that we're seeing that are working. So again, these are those shiny objects that we've seen that have really come to play the beginning half of this year that we want you to be able to start thinking about implementing. So the first one is optimizing for AI search, or that GEO term. So obviously a lot of our search is going over to AI softwares like ChatGPT, Gemini. You see the search results coming up. The way to get optimized for those is optimizing your local listings. A lot of the things Nicole talked about right at the beginning here is going to help you get optimized for those, but also updating your GBP regularly, are all things, all these different AI tools are pulling data from these listing networks. So having your information consistent there is going to be huge for showing up in kind of this turn of AI search. Some of the other things is short form video. We know that we all like to enjoy watching video, but making sure that we have that 15 to 30-second content being posted, editing your AI to have a human touch. So not just copying exactly what comes out of ChatGPT, making sure that you edit that to kind of have your own terminologies for your industry. It also doesn't know everything. So make sure that you're checking what it says. Another cool one is we've heard a lot of customers doing this, sending SMS requests for Google reviews. So actually getting automated text going out, or just having someone in your office making it part of your sales funnel when you complete a job, that you would send them a text to get a Google review. That way it's in their inbox. It's not a QR code that they scan and forget about. It's right there ready for them to do. The biggest one here is consistency. We're actually, as a sneak peek, next month, we're going to talk all about how to stay consistent with your marketing, but making sure that you, don't just pick something up for a month and then stop doing it. You need to stay consistent. And if you've really been kind of wondering how that's going to work, try it. Start something right now and stay consistent through the end of the year and see what 6 months of a certain program is going to do for you over than just, you know, a 30-day period. And then of course, setting up automations where you can. We want to save you time and money. So if you can find a tool that's going to do that for you, you know, that's going to make sure that you can continue to grow your business, because we want you to be running your business, not running all of these little details that we've been talking about today. So Nicole, let's go through a couple things to what gets us going really quick the second half of this year to get more leads right away here.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through all of these in detail, but really here is a couple of things that are going to help you really turn up the heat quickly. Some are free, some are not. So keep that in mind. But going back to just quickly to Catie's trends that are working, I challenge you to just choose one. Those are a lot of free options. Choose one. I know it can be overwhelming, but choose one for the next 6 months, as she mentioned, and stay consistent with those. But if you're looking to invest a little bit more and get a little bit more aggressive, these are some great options. So Google search campaigns, this allows you to basically run your own Google campaign on a platform that we know people are shopping for what you're offering. So your ad comes up when someone is searching for those specific phrases and key terms, and get them to call you directly or fill out a form. Google Guarantee, if you are a home service business, this is a huge opportunity for you guys. Not everyone qualifies for this, but this allows you to basically get guaranteed by Google. It does a couple things. Customers love to see that a business is Google guaranteed. And also as a business owner, you only get charged when a lead actually comes through. So it's a huge advantage. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's a great way to get really high converting leads. Run an internal contest for reviews. Get some perks going for your team to get more Google reviews. That's awesome. Retarget website visitors to your ads or display ads. A great way to basically retarget everyone who already interacted with your campaign. Run a meta ad campaign, but make sure that you have an offer available. That's huge. Sponsor a local event. This is a great way, especially with the summer. Sponsor a local event and then advertise it. Like, let's post about it. All the great things that you guys are doing. Promote giveaways, and then of course, upsell your current data client base. So great way to make sure that all of your clients actually are aware of all the services that you offer. A great way to, you know, upsell and cross promote.
Absolutely. So again, if this is something you're looking to brainstorm how to get more things throughout the year, if you are one of our customers, make sure you talk to your account manager more about some of the things we can do to help. What are some free things that you can go and work on for the second half of the year? But really, where do you go from here? We want to make sure that we leave you guys with, we have all this good information, but what's the next step for you? So the first thing that you should do when you hang up from this webinar, if you haven't already, is to complete your digital audit worksheet. So again, here's that QR code to scan that and take that download to start working through. The second thing is to determine what's your sole priority for the rest of this year. Is it just to meet your, you know, your goal? Do you have goals that you need to meet as far as if that's monetary or retention based or anything like that? What is that only priority if you had to pick just one? And then that goes into step 3. What does the budget look like to get to that goal? And let's be honest, sometimes it's zero. I have $0. I need to get to my goal. What do I do? And that's where you can start implementing some of the things that we've looked at. And it goes into my step 4 here. Are you maximizing your partnerships? So I'm not even just talking about your partnership with YPC. If you are one of our customers, make sure you're looking at your CRM system, your, you know, accountant, any of them. Look at all of them and make sure, am I using everything that I pay for with them? Because I know a lot of the time, you know, they'll send you different follow-ups. I know our team always sends you follow-ups after your appointments with us. Make sure you're doing all the things that are on that list. You need to maximize those dollars. You are paying for a service. Make sure that you are participating on your end and giving everything that you can to that partnership. And then the last thing here is, how are you going to stay consistent? Whether it's making sure you have recurring meetings set up with your account manager at YPC. We want to meet with you every 30 to 90 days. So make sure you have those appointments set up. Make sure that you have somebody either in your office, a mentor, a partner, or somebody that can help you, you know, be accountable. If you need to sit down for coffee once a week with somebody and you know, hit out some social content, maybe that's what you decide to do, but finding a way to stay consistent through the rest of the year is going to set you up really well for next year. But there's still a lot of time left to be successful this year, and we want to make sure that we can partner with you guys to do that. So if you guys have any questions, I know we didn't have time for the Q&A today, we're just out of time now, but this is our YPC Media Insiders group. We welcome all of you to join our group. We did have 2 questions that came in, so Nicole and I will answer those over in our Facebook group, but this whole recording will be available on our YouTube page, so if you haven't subscribed to us over there, please do that. Feel free to connect with Nicole and I. We'd love to keep talking about these topics, helping you all through an audit, as well as making sure that you're set up with your account manager to have a successful half of the rest of the year here. So thank you all again for joining. Nicole, thank you for all your help here. And we hope everyone has a great rest of the year.
Thank you, everyone.